And we welcome you to another edition of Homefield Advantage, brought to you by Jake Major with the Bullock Agency of Wyoming and Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Elin Olive, joined by Anthony Colsino and Aaron Poling. Aaron, I got to ask you a question. Did I not say kick us off, Anthony, right before?
You 100% did.
And Anthony just looks at me like a deer in the headlights.
I missed that then. All right.
Points back at you, too.
Yeah. Like, okay, cool. Here we go. We got a great show for you today. It is probably going to be kind of wrapping things up this year, as our final home field advantage will be a week from Thursday the 23rd. So we'll have this week home field advantage, tomorrow the student section, another home field advantage on Thursday, and then we will have those Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week. And then that will wrap up the school year. We got a great show for you. We have some record breakers out of Lyman and the track coaches from Rich, as well as Evanston, as well as Jerry Carroll, the head golf coach for Evanston, as they wrap up their spring season, which is really kind of warm-up season. But first, we've got, of course, those record breakers. Tell us about that, Anthony.
Yeah, so we'll have Morgan and Payne Anderson, who are both sisters and who were a part of the 4x2 for Lyman Track and Field. And it's a cool story of how Morgan usually runs different events. She got shoved into this last second. And also just cool as well as their dad, Dale Anderson, who's the Lyman football coach, is also one of the coaches for the track and field program as well. So it's just a cool little family moment between the three of them. We have a sit-down interview with Morgan and Peyton, and I kind of just asked them about how the event went just through their eyes and that record-breaking moment. We'll go to that interview right now.
Here with Peyton and Morgan Anderson, who broke the school record in the 4x2 event for track. Tell us the breakdown of just how that event occurred.
I kind of got thrown into it because my dad, our coach, thought that we could get close, and so it was just kind of a quick thrown together kind of race, and I'm glad it worked out good.
Yeah, it was we only ran it 2 meets prior to the BYU one, and we were a couple seconds off, so we thought if we threw Morgan in, we think we would get it.
And going through that event and when the timer was running, when did you guys realize that you were close or going to possibly break it?
I was not aware of what the previous record was, and so I was the final leg, and so when I crossed the finish line, the times took a few seconds to get up on the board, and my teammate Avery Thomas, she got all excited, and so I just assumed that's when we broke it.
Well, I was screaming at her from the final leg because I knew we were so close, we were right there. And I couldn't really see the board to see what time we got, so I had to ask everyone around me, can you read that? What does it say? And then, when we got it, we all celebrated and we were really happy.
And speaking that your dad's the head track coach, what is that like having a parent be your head coach?
I personally don't mind it. My dad's a great coach, and he's always supportive, and he knows when to put me to work, and he knows how to push me without pushing me too far. It's great.
Yeah, he's always there to support us, and he knows a lot, so he can help us in events even if he's not the main coach, and he's always there to help us in all our relays, so.
Right on. And going back to the moment you guys broke the record, what was the reaction afterwards just across the whole entire track team? Because breaking a school record's a pretty big deal.
Personally, I felt sick after. I wasn't too ecstatic right after, but after a few minutes, I felt good. And I don't know if a lot of people knew that we were close, but we made a story on our Instagram, and then people kind of were excited about it, and they gave us lots of good reactions to it.
Yeah, I think once they figured out that we broke it, everyone was really happy for us, and there was a lot of congratulations and celebrating throughout the team.
And Payne, what is it like running track with your older sister, knowing that she's a senior, you're a junior, and this is her last year running track?
I mean, it's pretty great because my freshman year, she was hurt, and then last year I was hurt, so we haven't really been able to run together. So then this year's been pretty fun because we're in all of our relays together. So, it's pretty fun to just kind of get thrown in whatever we need together.
And Morgan, same question goes to you as well. How's it running track with your sister?
Yeah, no, same. Like, we haven't had an opportunity to run together, and this is the first season where we've kind of been able to do a lot of things together, but also do different things. So it's fun to have her support the things that I do, and then me go and watch the thing that she does. And so I think it's just great. It's so fun.
That's all the questions I have. Thank you guys so much.
Okay, thank you.
That was Peyton and Morgan Anderson, and just a cool little sit-down interview with them as Morgan was, as you heard in the interview, was thrown into the event last second, basically, as their dad, Dale Anderson, put that group together, and it's just kind of cool in that moment of some of the people in that event don't know what school record is, some do, so you kind of get that mixed reaction, and you have the butterflies as Morgan didn't feel good after she ran the final leg of that event, but ended up helping Lyman break the school record, and also just with them being sisters, Morgan's a senior, Payne's a junior, and I think that's just a great moment as Morgan, this is her last year running track and field.
Well, congratulations, you're now a relay team. You kind of get thrown into the relay last second, and now you break a record. You're probably on that team from now on.
Yeah, no matter how long a record has stood, it's a school record. I mean, that is quite an accomplishment. I mean, I can only think of maybe a state championship would kind of equal that type of prestige, because I mean their names are going to be up in the school now.
Yeah,
like it's part of Lyman athletic history.
Well, I can tell you where their names will be. They're going to be on that big giant track and field board that's on the hallway in between each side of the bleachers in the gym. So I mean, every time they walk into the gym and they see that, it's going to be their name because of what they did.
And as long as that record stands, everyone after them is going to be is going to see that.
And you're going to have, say that record stands for a super long time. You're going to have generation after generation going into Lyman High School and seeing those names up there and being like, you know what, maybe I want to break that. Maybe I want my name to be up there.
We need to hold on to that talking point for something that we're going to talk about later.
Okay.
Because a huge, let's say it was a 40-year record went down in Evanston this year at the regional track. Or a conference track.
Wow.
So
yeah, Rich broke a record over the weekend as well. We'll get to that in the Coach Glenn Smith interview.
Yeah,
all our schools are breaking records.
And all of them seem to be breaking records that are long-standing records. So reason would make you think that, okay, if it took them, all right, let's just use Evanston example, 40 years to break this record, it should take them 40 years to break that record, you know?
Yeah. Do you guys hold any records at your schools?
Nope.
No, I wish.
I got one.
You got one?
Yeah, fastest turnover in a basketball game.
Oh my God.
We got the tip ball. I saw my wing going ahead. He was wide open. Chucked it. Hit the stage in the back before it bounced. So got a little carried away.
Wait a minute. That's a record.
No, not really. But
okay,
I can't imagine anyone's beating 2 seconds anytime soon.
Your basketball game had a stage?
Yeah.
As well? That's cool.
Well, I mean, our school is like small, so like our basketball floor butted up against the gym or against the stage, which butted up against the cafeteria.
I got
So yeah, I tried to fire a quick down court pass. First game of the season, I was excited. Saw a kid wide open, heaved it. A little stronger than I thought I was, I guess. It's funny turning and looking at my coach. He just kind of put his hands in the air, and I was like, "The stage was wide open, coach. What do you want?" And we went back and watched film, and he's like, "What were you trying to do?" And it's like you could see there's actually someone cutting to the hoop. So, right play, wrong execution.
Yeah.
And probably,
you had the right
probably
idea.
a state record, to be honest with you. I don't know how many people are turning the ball over within 2 seconds. So, when I'm doing color commentary for basketball, keep that in mind.
I'm just okay. I just picture you walk into the gym at Aaron's High School and there's the board with all the records, and it's there's the Hall of Fame, then the Hall of Shame where it's fastest turnover in a basketball game, 1.724 seconds. Aaron Pulling.
The worst part is my brother's name's at the top. Was at the top of the list. I'm not sure if it is for free throw percentage.
Oh,
so
really?
So he has an actual record, and I have the goof record of we don't want the ball.
They should put those banners right next to her, so you have polling on the top.
It's just I play better defense. Here you go.
Yeah, that's not true. Show which offspring of Mike Poling was better at basketball, because it definitely wasn't me.
But I mean, kind of getting back to where we were. These state records are not these state records. These school records mean something to these kids.
Yes.
I mean, they go in. they go in as freshmen, and as you mentioned, they look up, they see those names on the board, and when it's their sport that they feel like they're the best at, or they have the best chance at, they make a goal to break them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm getting ready to start. This is my 5th school year here and doing Evanston stuff, and every year I hear about someone wanting to break a record.
Yeah,
every year you hear about it. It's not every year it happens.
No, you put a ton of blood, sweat, and tears into something, and you're trying to be the best at it when, you can finish off being the best in your school ever at it. Like, I imagine that's a great feeling. That's something that you should always be proud of, no matter how long the record stands. Even if it only stands till the next meet and you guys re-break it, like, you should still be proud of holding the record. And even if it only lasts till next year, you are a record holder, and not a lot of people can say that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right, we're going to step aside. When we come back, we'll hear from Evanston spring golf coach Jerry Carroll, as well as Rich track and field coach Mr. Glenn Smith. You're tuned in to Homefield Advantage, brought to you by Jake Major with the Bullock Agency of Wyoming and Bear Lake Memorial Hospital.
When you have an emergency, choose Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Open 24/7, the professional emergency room staff is trained for trauma, medical, cardiac, pediatric, orthopedic, and obstetric emergencies. Bear Lake Memorial is a critical access level 3 trauma center, offering immediate access to radiology, lab services, surgery, and internal medicine consults. The ER teams are well-trained professionals who are ready to act. When you have an emergency, Bear Lake Memorial Hospital, the most caring hospital on earth.
Out here, we've always worked remote. Out here, stress usually refers to the pull on a rope. Where a stroll in the city is also a stroll in the great outdoors. Where work is a way of life, and life is good. Out here, the backyards are big, and the deals, they're even bigger. This is southwestern Wyoming, and it's where you can get the biggest deals on a vehicle you want, with plenty of hometown hospitality. Heritage Auto, your hometown dealer with the biggest deals.
Whether it's for your home, your ranch, your equipment, or your business, when you need propane, count on the best. T7 Propane in Woodruff. The safe and professional team at T7 Propane offers quality product and the most responsive propane service in the area, so you can enjoy the affordability, reliability, and efficiency of propane. For heating, cooking, grilling, motor fuel, and more, count on the team at T7 for your personal or business propane needs. 435-793-4208.
At Reese Auto Service in Lyman, you will find highly skilled mechanics who will get the job done right the first time. They work on anything from light line jobs of tire alignments, suspension work, and oil changes to heavy line jobs of engine replacement, differentials, and all powertrain components. Make sure all your recreational vehicles are working at top speed by getting them checked at Reese Auto Service in Lyman so your time having fun doesn't end early. Reese Auto Service, 541 State Highway 413, Lyman.
Welcome back live into Homefield Advantage, presented by Jake Major with the Bullock Agency of Wyoming and Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. We'd like to thank some of our sponsors, Reese Auto, Stacy's Repair, and then our presenting sponsors, First Bank of Wyoming and is it Les Schwab? Yes.
T7
Propane.
Yep.
Without any of y'all, we can't do any of our high school sports broadcasts or even this show. So thank you guys so much for the help. And now we have a interview with spring golf head coach of the Evanston Red Devils.
Yeah, Jerry Carroll. They played at the Star Valley tournament. That is a big one, and we'll explain why in the interview. Actually, I can't remember if they explained why in the interview. Might have explained it 2 weeks ago, so I'll just say the reason why that Star Valley tournament is huge is because it was played on the same course that is hosting the state championships in October. So we'll go ahead and go to Coach Carroll with that interview right now.
Here with Evanston Red Devil golf coach Jerry Carroll. Coach Carroll, you guys had a big tournament last week in Star Valley on the same course that they're going to hold the state championships in October. Talk to me about how that went for you guys and how you guys feel after playing that course for the first time.
Well, it's the Valley View. It's a small course right there at the beginning of Star Valley. It's a lot of fun. The greens are always fantastic. It's a smaller, tighter course with tree-lined fairways and kind of U-shaped places to hit down, and a lot of sand. For our kids, they're gonna get driver, and then they're gonna have wedges into almost all of the greens, and so we have to work on wedge. And then there's a lot of sand, so we're gonna have sand play. How it went was our girls took second overall. They shot a 291, but Campbell County from Gillette beat us by 20 strokes. And so we're going to have to work real hard to make that up. And our boys also took second to Campbell County. We shot a nice score of 312, but Campbell County beat us by 305.
When you look at how close that boys score is, you guys are knocking right on the door. What do you feel like is the missing piece to that puzzle to potentially, when you go back there in October, being able to eclipse that 312?
For the boys, it's depth. We shot 72, 73, 77, and then our 4 and 5 guys shot 90, 107. And so we have to find a 4 or 5 guy who can get down to that 80. And I'll be honest, I think the kids that we have, every one of them is capable of doing that. So I'm still excited for our season. I just know that those kids, I believe that they can get down to that 80. And when you've got the 72, 73, 77s already, you're a team that has a chance to win a state championship. For our girls, it's the same thing. We shot 84, 87, and then our third score is a 115. And so that kind of knocks you out of that race. But I believe that we got a first-year golfer that's shooting the 115. I believe she can get under 100. And we have Haley Ridenauer. We think that should be coming back. We think that she can shoot definitely within the 80s from previous experiences we've had for her. And for the boys, we think that one of our fall golfers that's in track now, Brandon Blackwell, we're hoping he can come back and help us get that depth that we're looking for.
You guys play your final tournament of the spring season in Jackson Hole, actually just on Tuesday, so not very far from now at all. Talk to me a little bit about that tournament, what you guys are hoping to kind of execute in the final tune-up of the spring season.
Well, for us, remember how terrible the weather was last week? And throughout the whole fall season, through all the spring season, we just had tough conditions. And so when we golfed in Star Valley, it was great. So it was a great golf experience. When we go up to Jackson, we're going to golf in a golf course that if these kids don't go on the high school team, it would be really hard for them to ever get on these golf courses. The golf courses in Jackson charge, $250 to play 18 holes. And so this will be what I would call just a great golf experience for them. A great golf course that will challenge their skills, but also hitting into the Tetons and being there and being on that type of golf course is just a great golf experience for our girls and our boys that they can only experience probably through high school golf.
Coach, when the final player hits the final green of the spring season and you guys do break up for the summer, what's going to be the message to the kids as they get ready to kind of go into this, not even an off season, but more of a prep season that is the summer season? Absolutely. You know what we've got here now is a baseline. I can tell you all your stroke averages. And we've got 3 kids in the boys at 80 or under. We've got 2 girls right now who are under 90. And so I've got the other kids that's like, here's your baseline. We're going to work real hard. And if they need any help, if their swing goes away or fundamentally something goes wrong, we're all just a phone call away. And then we'll get their baseline again at the state am right here in Evanston. We've asked all our kids to play in that state am. And that will be a good indicator of where they're at, if they're progressing or if they've lost ground or what we need to do. And then we'll hit the home stretch and just golf real hard till we get to the fall season. And right now it's a baseline. We've worked on all of your weaknesses. We've made sure that everybody's fundamentally strong. And now they just have to put time and effort into playing golf, the short game, pitching, putting,
all of the things that you do in the off season for the other sports. If you're doing basketball, you'd be shooting free throws and jump shots and dribbling the ball. For us, we have to hit golf balls, we have to pitch and putt, and we have to come in and be at our very best right when that golf season starts, because the fall is very short and the competition is going to be intense.
That is Coach Jerry Carroll, head coach for Evanston Red Devil Golf. Coach, congratulations on a great spring season. Cannot wait to see how this thing plays out in the fall. Anything else before we wrap up the spring portion of the season?
No, sir. I just appreciate you taking care of our golfers, and go Red Devils.
Big thank you to Jerry Carroll, head coach for Evanston Red Devil Golf, for joining us here on Homefield Advantage. Boys, you heard it. They went and played at the same course that will host the state championships. They took second to Campbell County. I think it was by 5 strokes. When it comes down to 5 in a team competition, it's 5, but that's a very small margin, and they can find that in the off season.
Absolutely. I mean, you expect both teams are going to get better throughout the summer, and who knows? Maybe it comes back to the tournament next year. One team has a better day than the other, and suddenly now you're the state champ. So you're close, and that's the best thing about being close, is that you have a legit opportunity, and there are legit scenarios where you could walk away with a state title. And what it's going to take is a great summer heading into the fall, and the Red Devils golf team, they're going to have to work real hard. I'm sure when we're out on the course this year, we're going to run into a bunch of them.
Well, and then on top of that, Evanston's hosting the state AM championship. So, and he said they've told all of their players to enter the state AM and go play that tournament this summer. So that's going to be a good indication about midway through the summer on where they're at.
Oh, yeah. You get a state amateur tournament on your home course, you should always try to play that, because even if maybe you're not good enough to be a part of that tournament usually, but on your home course, most golfers are pretty good. I mean, who knows this golf course better than the Evanston golf team?
Yeah, and I mean, you're also looking at some of the top guys on the team that they could go and have a really good showing. So
absolutely.
All right, I hate to move on so quickly, but we need to. As Aaron, you got a chance to talk with Glenn Smith, the Rich track and field head coach.
Yes, I did, as the track team for both the girls and boys for Evanston. It was actually a 3-trophy weekend, and oh man, oh boy, I'm so confused with stuff, guys. I'm sorry. I get tossed around to all these schools, and they all get mixed up. But for the Rich Rebels, 3 different regional championships came home, including the golf and both the boys and girls track, as we'll talk to Coach Smith about the track team championships.
Here with head coach of the Rich varsity track team, that's Coach Glenn Smith. And Coach Smith, this weekend, you guys did awesome. Both teams won the regional meet. Go ahead and take me through the weekend and what you saw that you loved.
So it was really good. We had a couple of school records. So Haiti Pugmire threw the shot 35-3 to set a new school record. The girls medley team also set a new school record in the medley. And so it was a successful meet on many levels.
So that means both of your teams are going to state now. So it means all the athletes are going down. What are you guys doing to prepare for that state meet?
Well, so right now we want to get their legs under them and get them rested up so they're prepared for Friday and Saturday. They'll have trials on Friday and then finals on Saturday. So we want their legs under them and prepared to run their fastest times of the year.
So what are trials before the meet? Is that just kind of basically preheats going before the meets? That way everyone can get out on a race? Or go ahead and explain that for people that wouldn't know.
So with the trials, what happens is on Friday, they'll take I think there's 18 runners from 1A, and they'll run in 2 heats, and then they'll take the top 9 fastest times back to the finals on Saturday. And so the more kids you can get into the finals, the better it'll be.
So obviously outside of bringing home a couple of trophies, there's not a whole lot to dislike about that. What are some of the things you saw from your team that you really like to see?
Big thing was it was a quick regions, a smaller meet than what we've been to. And so it was good to see the kids being able to run well with a shorter recovery time than what they're used to.
So what do you want to see out of practice this week? I know there's not a whole lot technique-wise that you could probably teach them in the last week. Don't really usually win regional titles without knowing techniques to things. So what do you want to see from the kids? Is it more about effort and hustle? Is it more about recovery? What is this week of practice looking like?
Biggest thing is work on speed. Whatever your event is, working on speed and quickness and the throws quickness, getting them off quick. And then big thing is just resting. So we'll work on starts and making sure they're getting out of the blocks fast, and then handoffs, making sure our handoffs are crisp, and then we'll work on speed drills, and then we'll pretty much call it good.
A successful weekend next week, and it's going to look like what?
Well, so getting a lot of PRs. So if the kids are PRing and doing well, that'll be make for a successful weekend.
Awesome, Coach. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Welcome back inside the Les Schwab Plains Tires studio, as that was Coach Smith talking about Haiti Pugmire breaking the shot put record for Rich High School, and they're going to go to states. Much like you were talking about with the Evanston golf team, the Red Devils are about 8 points off the lead right now if you go by what everyone posted as the best time.
The Rebels are pretty close.
The Rebels, geez Louise, man, I'm so sorry. I'll go torment myself later for it. But, yeah, the Rebels, they're in a good spot to, come home with a girls' state championship where they're going to have to work and they're going to have to probably go above and beyond. But any state title that you win, you're going to have to go above and beyond. It's not real often where you get to cruise into a state title. So for the Rebels, I got it that time. Woo! For the Rebels, it's going to be a tough task, but I think it's a task that they can ultimately get done.
Well, and also just you look at this squad, and they're so talented as well. You got Violet Taylor, the fastest girl in the 1A in Utah, and just Haiti Pugmire as well. Just so many names in this program that are just so huge, and listen to that interview. Coach Smith has them ready to go, and they're looking to get state titles.
Yeah, ultimately it's going to come down to. You're going to have your winners in the events, but it's going to come down to the, secondary runners.
Yeah.
And when I say secondary runners, I mean second, on the team. Because, say Violet Taylor's in the 100. If there's another girl for Rich in the 100, that girl's going to have to move up a few spaces to try to earn more points.
Exactly.
That's what it's going to come down to, just because your winner can't score more points than they already are. So if you get those runners that are, finishing 7th and 8th, maybe if they finish 4th, if you can get all the way up to a 3rd or something, you'll earn points for your team. And that's really what it's going to come down to. And it's going to come down to talking to Coach Glenn Smith. It's going to come down to the javelin. It's going to come down to the 800. And it's going to come down to the high jump. It kind of seems like those are the 3 key events that are going to really dictate who wins the state title in girls track in 1A.
That's what it comes down to. All right. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll hear from Coach Roy Barker of the Evanston Red Devils track team. You're tuned in to Homefield Advantage, presented by Jake Major with the Bullock Agency of Wyoming and Bear Lake Memorial Hospital.
Hey there, I'm Jake Major, your local Medicare and insurance benefits advisor for the Bullock Agency of Wyoming. With over 25 years of experience protecting families in rural America, we understand the importance of having affordable insurance coverage. Whether you're searching for extra coverage or looking to understand and switch your Medicare options, I can help you find a range of top-rated insurance companies and tailor-made packages based on your needs. Call me, Jake Major, today at 307-209-4685, and let's discuss your insurance options. We're the Bullock Agency of Wyoming, when benefits matter.
If you've never heard a mechanic say they truly care, then you've been at the wrong place. Stacy's Repair in Woodruff is a family-owned and operated business open since 1992. Offering all types of maintenance and repair services, you can be sure your vehicle is operating at its best. Whether your vehicle is older or the newest model, gas or diesel, we fix and maintain them all. Also offering chip repair, windshield replacement, and tires. When your vehicle needs a mechanic, bring it to the ones who truly care. Stacy's Repair in Woodruff.
Founded in 1938 with the hopes and dreams of serving the Bridger Valley, Benedict's Trading Company was started. Now, 85 years and 3 generations later, Benedict's Market is still serving the Bridger Valley by offering the highest quality meats and fresh produce to having fresh baked items and hot deli options. Benedict's Market is your one-stop for all of your grocery needs. Benedict's Market offers the best services in a modern setting to make your shopping both quick and easy. Visit them today at 950 North Highway 414, Mountain View, Wyoming.
Life is better in the country. KNYN, Fort Bridger, Evanston, Woodruff, 99.1, the country you want to be in.
Broadcast booth. Welcome back to the My Local Radio Homefield Advantage. I'm Aaron Poling, joined by Anthony Colasuno and Elon Olive. Before we get into the last interview that we have for today's show, we want to thank a couple more sponsors, as we want to thank T7 Propane, Reese Auto. We also want to thank Stacy's Repair, as well as Les Schwab Plains Tires and Union Wireless. Without all of you guys, none of this is possible, so a giant thank you to all of our sponsors. Elon, go ahead and give us a quick preview of the interview that we have with Coach Roy Barker.
So, of course, they went down to the to Rock Springs for the conference championship. This was the goal for the Red Devils from the beginning of the season. Came up just short. And when I say just short, they lost the conference championship by 3 points.
Oof.
And in a track meet, that is almost like losing a race by 1/10 of a second.
Yeah.
It is. So they have nothing to hang their heads about. Gabe Hutchinson, Kai Barker, they're all conference champions. They all are in play for state championships, and they're going to be taking over 30 kids to the state meet in Casper this weekend. So here is that interview with Evanston Red Devil track coach Roy Barker.
Here with Evanston Red Devil track coach Roy Barker. Coach Barker, you guys just had the Western Conference Championships. That was a big goal for you guys. On the girls' side, you guys finished 4th. On the boys' side, only 3 points separate you from Kelly Walsh, who took the title. Talk to me real quick about how that kind of all played out, and what your kind of thoughts are on it now that you've kind of had some time in between the meet and now.
I think the kids performed really well first off, and I want to thank them for their efforts and congratulate them. The teams are solid. I mean, honestly, our girls' team is as strong as it's been, and we took 4th place. And we've done that before, but we didn't score as many points. On the boys' side, and it was Cody that got us, by 3 points, but we scored 150. And last year we took second with 130 or 32 or something like that. So we scored well, and we're scoring points. We have kids performing. It's just track. Sometimes things go your way, sometimes things don't. I'm really proud of the kids and for the effort that they put in this year.
Apologies, correct. It was Cody. I don't know how I got those mixed up. Coach, it's not over yet. I mean, you guys still have the state meet. Yeah, the team goal was the conference. But talk to me about what are this team's hope at state, and I would imagine some individual state championships could be in play for the Red Devils.
Yeah, for you to score well at the state championship, especially with the 4A, you have to have kids perform in the top, right? And the teams that do really well place in the top 3 spots. So we have some kids that can place top 3 in multiple events. And so if we can get those kids to perform at, getting those 1st, 2nd, 3rds, or maybe even a 4th, those are big points at the state meet, right? And then every point you scratch after that is almost, it's just gravy. It's fun. It's, it's exciting to, have a kid squeak into finals that maybe you weren't expecting it. And those points do add up, and it comes down to, 1 or 2 points away from moving up a spot in the rankings. So it'll be fun to see.
Talk to us real quick about, I guess you could say, the headliners that are going to Casper for state that you believe are expected to have a very good performance in the final meet of the season.
Yeah, we've got some, obviously some of the same names we've talked about over the year. But we know we have some multiple conference champions, and those kids are going to be a threat, obviously. Talia Conrad in the sprints, the 1, 2, and the 4, she's one of the top runners in the state. She set our school record in the 100-meter dash, which has been a school record there since 1996. I mean, so she's obviously very, very talented and going to have to do really well for the girls to score. And then, you add off with those other girls' performance, you got Jocelyn Kapner, who's going to be a top 5 athlete, we expect. Little freshman Cassie Barker could pull something out in the high jump. Would be great. She's ranked pretty high. And then, with a couple of relays, our 4x400 relay team is very solid, and they have a chance to score well. And we're looking for some of those individual performances. I think Emma Lonsway in the 300 hurdles has a great chance of scoring and placing a state as well. And on the boys' side, with those conversations, Aiden Hartzell wins the 400. Gabe Hutchinson wins the 1 and the 2. Kai wins the high jump. We win the 4x8. We win the 4x4. All those groups and all those kids have a great chance of placing top 3 at state. And if we can get those out of those kids, the other kids, we got Cameron Hyatt vaulting really well. You got the distance runners who are just blossoming into their own. And I just think any points we get out of them is going to be phenomenal. So we're excited. And I think it's a great team. It's been a fun group. They're very coachable. They support one another, and they've been fun to be around this year.
That's Coach Roy Barker, head coach for Evanston Red Devil track and field. Coach, thank you so much for the time. Congratulations on the finish at conference. Best of luck at state. We'll be pulling for you and can't wait to check in with you after that one. Anything else before we wrap this up?
Yeah, I guess I kind of forgot the 4x8 boys. They broke the school record in the 4x8 that had been there for 40 years. And so that was finally broken, so we're excited for them, and I think they're going to do great. But thanks, Ewan, for all your guys' support.
So, yeah, what's really, really cool is going back to the last point that Coach Roy Barker just made about that 40-year boys 4x8 record falling. What's really, really cool is that the 1984 team that set that record was inducted into the Evanston Hall of Fame this last fall. And they actually came and they talked about setting that record and how they did it and the day they did it. And they talked about how the 2024 relay team had come up to them and said, "We are eyeing that record. We want that. We want to break that record." And they said, "Go for it. We're rooting for you to do it. The records are made to be broken." And they did it.
Wow.
Like I said, every year I hear talk about someone wanting to take down a certain record. In 2023, 2024, the 4x800 or 4x8, you're right, was the record that people wanted, that people were shooting for. And this year it happened. So congratulations to those guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome to hear that the 84 team is rooting for him too, because sometimes this doesn't happen all that often. It doesn't happen as often as I think as we think it does. But when you get a team that holds a record and they're actively rooting against people trying to break it, like that really bothers me. So it's great to hear that,
like a certain NFL team that pops champagne whenever a
a team doesn't go undefeated.
Yeah.
No, like I love that they're like, break it, because that's just furthering the program. That's a program that I'm sure that those guys still care about. That the more records of yours that get broken, the better the program is. And I feel like that's just kind of the way that life works. All records are meant to be broken. Obviously, there are some records that may never get touched. But I mean, if even untouchable records that we thought had no chance to be broken, Wayne Gretzky's goal record, like those are going to get broken eventually. And I think it's awesome to see just that group, cheering the 24 team on.
And what records are? They're inarguable, numbers don't lie type of bar. It's a standard. If you break that record, even the quote unquote unbreakable records, you have proven that you deserve to be regarded as one of the best in whatever league or whatever sport or whatever school that you're representing. And that's what these boys did. They proved that they are some of the best to ever come out of Evanston High School by breaking this record.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And, this team could probably speak at some sort of ceremony 10, 15, 20 years from now.
It's probably
and you could have the next generation of track and field runners, hey, we want to break your record.
So they said it was 40 years ago that it stood. So
look for the record to be broken in 2064.
I was about to say the Hall of Fame class of 2064.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it'll take those guys that long to get in, but I'd hope that this 24 team has the same mantra that the 84 team has, where you're rooting for people to break it, because that means that your program that you love and you care about, it means that they're doing well. And especially heading into next year, because this is kind of something that happens where, you break a record and you're hoping that the team next year breaks it, because if they break it next year, it means you're probably in a really good spot again for Evanston.
Well, and on top of that, another thing to remember is that the season's not over yet. This team's going to run one more final, most likely, at this one more race. So you have a chance to not break it once, but break your own record. And if you do that, no matter how long that record stands, you're immortal.
And we don't see much records broke twice in a season across any sport whatsoever. So that would just be a monumental achievement right there alone.
But whether they break that record again or not, they're now the record holders.
Yeah.
They've done it. Now it's now go out there, run your race, see what you can bring home at state.
Trying to set the bar a little bit higher for the next group. That's all.
Yeah.
Just only going out to run for a state title. That's all they're doing.
Yeah. Iron sharpens iron. That's the way.
Exactly. And that's going to do it for this week's edition of Home Field Advantage, presented by Jake Major with the Bullock Agency of Wyoming and Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. I'm Elon Olive.
I'm Aaron Poling.
Anthony Colasuno.
And we'll see you guys tomorrow for the student section right here at 10:30. Thank you guys so much, and take care.